Should you be scared of winter? Now, you should definitely be concerned of winter. It is a dangerous time. But if you're a rookie, you're the first time coming in, and you don't really know what's going to happen, basically the way that you protect yourself in wintertime is just to slow down. There's also a couple of things you need to bring with you. You definitely need to have jumper cables. If you are about that life, which a lot of people are not, you definitely need to have chains. You definitely need to always keep an extra stash of food and water in your truck, because you don't know when you're going to get stuck. One time I was in, I think it was Idaho, and apparently some type of avalanche happened, and I ended up being stuck at this small truck stop. A lot of the truckers were stuck at this small truck stop for like, I want to say 2 or 3 days. I don't recall completely, but I had food, I had water, oodles and noodles, stuff like that. I had a way to take my little bird baths and everything like that, so I ain't just sitting in the truck smelling like butt cheese. And it definitely was a awakening experience, because I wasn't expecting it to get that real. I was just figuring, you know, it's just a little bit of snow, slow down. It's not just that. Things can actually definitely happen. You can get stuck somewhere. You should have like and this is a little extreme, but if you know you're going to be going to the northern western quarter, you probably should have you a pretty high grade sleeping bag. I don't have one anymore, but I'm working on getting another one, because trucks freezing over and people not having heat can happen. And you say, well, I'll just use the bunk heater. All trucks don't have bunk heaters. Dirty Red didn't have a bunk heater. If the truck was to freeze over and I did not have the engine anymore, that would have been it. I'd have just been outside in whatever temperature it is outside. You going into South Dakota, it can drop, I've seen personally, a -28. You are not trying to be in that situation without a bunk heater or out a way to keep yourself warm, at least in a decent level sleeping bag. I mean, they have sleeping bags where you can literally sleep, that they sleep in when they go to Antarctica and, you know, Mount Everest and Alaska and stuff like that. You can get you a pretty decent sleeping bag. They are not the cheapest thing in the world, but I mean, just take a look at it, just to have it as emergencies, as part of your emergency pack. What I want you to do is build an emergency pack, you know, non-perishable items that you know is going to be there, that you probably don't eat every day. Like, just have a sleeve of oodles and noodles or something under the bunk or something like that, that you know is going to be there. Always have a couple jugs of water. Always what else you know, way to wash yourself. I already touched on that. You always put yourself in a position that you can take care of the situation, almost like you ready to camp out if something ridiculous happens. Because in this game, ridiculous stuff happens on a regular basis. It's not like in this game bad things don't happen. It happens all the time. Make sure your tires are situated and everything is together with that. Tread depth, no bulges out of the walls and stuff like that before the summer comes. I'm actually me and Chris are working out some stuff where I'm gonna have to go to the Death Star, which is what we call the headquarters for the Mega Carrier that I run under. But I'm gonna be going there and looking into getting some tires. I'm thinking about getting a whole new thing of drive tires. That's about $5,600 or $4,800. It's a lot of money, but I'm thinking about doing that. I also need trailer chains to go on the trailer, because I will be chaining this year. I'm not gonna. Snow is not stopping me from getting to where I'm going this year. I'm gonna drive directly into it. I'm not gonna use the excuse that, oh, well, you know, I don't want to do that, or it's too dangerous, or it's not worth it, or anything like that. I'm just not using that excuse this year. Not telling you shouldn't use that excuse. I'm just saying that I'm not. Never get too confident in the wintertime. It can happen to anyone. It don't matter who. You could be 37 years in the game, never crash the truck, go up the mountain 72 miles an hour. It don't matter. You can hit the wrong patch, and that's it. You're done. That's why they have runaway things going down the mountains. You know, I'm going to be going into Oregon, Idaho, Washington, going up ridiculous steep grades. with it covered with snow, then the chain light's gonna come on. Then I'm gonna have to pull over to the side in the chain up area, and I'm gonna have to pull the chains out and put chains on. And I've never put chains on a Class A truck. I've put chains on a oil-filled water tanker like Class B. I'm not sure it's too much different, but I'm pretty sure it's gonna be a learning adjustment. But I'll try to record as much of that as I can, showing me going up the mountain and doing that. But it's gonna be something. It's not something that I'm particularly looking forward to doing. I just do not want the snow to stop me from going anywhere this year. I'm scrapping that notion. That's another idea that came from another place. Like, that wasn't my original idea. But what I'm doing, I'm scrapping all ideas that didn't come from me. I'm gonna act like I'm a brand new driver, and I'm just gonna run back into the West and come up with my own conclusions for that. And I'm just gonna, whatever I get into is what I get into. That's how I pretty much feel about that. Should you go as far as changing out the antifreeze in your truck? I would say yes. I guess before when you go in there and you talk to them, ask them if your truck is the type of one that's gonna need to switch to full antifreeze and stuff like that. If you're a company driver, something your shop will probably take care of, or you could bring it up to them and say, hey man, do we need to switch this from 50/50 to yada yada yada? But usually I don't really think that's a big thing in semi trucks. I usually just uses one thing. Now, is there some type of better everything for the winter? They say it is. There's guys who go as far as they switch the weight of their oil, they switch all of those different things, and I will be going to Houston to get up with Chris to winterize the truck and figure out everything for everything to be perfect, because that's just what mind state I'm in right now. I want everything to be perfect. So, I will actually have a video on that coming soon when we get there, and I'm gonna dig into tires, oil, antifreeze. Right now I have the Bug windshield wiper fluid for the summertime, so I can get the bugs off the screen. I'm gonna see if we're gonna switch that. A whole 9 yards, checking my balance, checking my alignment, check all that stuff before I go into this winter, because it's gonna be a rough winter. And I want to be prepared, and I don't want anything to be looked over. So hopefully that you're looking at this puts you in the mind state to say, okay, I'm about to call and say, hey man, is my stuff right? Or when I get to the terminal, whatever terminal I at, I'm gonna run it into the shop and say, what do I need to do to get my stuff winter ready? These trucks, you could be a lazy douche and run them any time of the year and don't change anything, but piss poor planning leads to piss poor performance. You are going to have to get acquainted with after treatment. If you don't know what that is, after treatment is what we pour in our tanks in the hopes that it does not freeze when we're driving into the mountain. That's what we hope. Okay, now it doesn't always work, but I mean, for the most part, it has a temperature, I think, on it that tells you that it can do this level of so and so and so. That's why when you get to a certain area, let's say it gets to 28 degrees, 20 below, a lot of dudes don't cut their truck off, because in hopes that it won't freeze over. Listen, man, I don't come from the Midwest, the Northwest, where the winters are real. I don't come from there, so you really need to talk to somebody who this would be a perfect subject for Matty Ice to talk about, because I don't come from that area. So my experience with it is not as much as someone who's living and breathing there. It's not that high, but I know when I was going through there, I was trying to keep the truck on. I remember at one time Melton was even saying keep the truck on. They were telling me not to lock my trailer brakes, leave them on, because they will freeze, and then you got to go back there and bang it with a mallet. Get a mallet. You need a mallet. You got to go back there and bang the brake drum with a mallet and hope that it separates. Some dudes say pour water on it. Some say pour vinegar. Some say pour alcohol. They do different things like that, because once them things seize up, you could just be stuck. I've even seen a dude have a torch. And you just sit there, zzz, and he's at a torch situation. You can get a little can torch thing. You just and do that. I don't know if you should do that. I've seen it done. I'm not saying do that. Comment in the bottom to say if, this is something that, I do, TB. Yeah, calm that down there in the bottom for the rookie that's probably watching. I know we use torches in the oil field when in the water tankers because it has the fitting right here, and you know it either twists or pulls up, and that would freeze, and we would have to put the I was in the oil field, well technically the gas field in Pennsylvania, and we would put a torch to the fitting until it, you know, got to the point where the water could actually come out because it would freeze solid. So I know that there's some validity to that, but I'm not gonna tell you to go get a torch and put it towards your truck, dude. I'm not gonna tell you to do that. That you need to get that from someone else. Another thing that I used to hear all the time was that another problem that you have to look out for is your airline's freezing. That's not BS. That can happen to you. And so what some old heads just tell me, they put rubbing alcohol in there. And matter of fact, y'all comment in the bottom and say what you know back in the day what y'all would put in there and everything like that for people to get prepared for that, or whatever they could dry out the lines and stuff like that, so it wouldn't freeze on them and their brakes wouldn't work. Y'all put that in the bottom of the comments and say what that should be. I personally have never done that. I've never done that. Now, I also don't live up in the Northwest neither, so I'm not saying that it isn't something you need to do. I'm just saying that I've never been in it that deep where I needed to. Or maybe I was just ignorant and didn't do it, and I just like, screw it, you know, roll the dice. You know what I'm saying? So we'll get into that a little bit more as well. I am looking, when I do go to the Northwest in the middle of the winter, I am looking for a person that lives and is regional through the whole winter and knows all the tricks. I am looking for one of those truckers to interview. And I will try to set that up. I'll even take a you know, local or regional guy that's home every weekend. It's probably going to be one of those guys, so when I come into town, it's nothing for them to just come to the truck and do it. But we'll figure that out. We'll definitely figure that out in a second. But that's just some of the stuff just to try to help y'all and add value into where you're looking at the video and you're actually getting something out of it. Okay, that's going to be the new trend. Like it's no more of the content that you're getting nothing out of. That's over. I want you to get something from this that is tangible, that you could actually go back and say, I learned this from here. Like that's pretty much what I want y'all to do. What I probably will not be touching on, I won't be touching on the whole owner op, how much the check is, and you know, I'm not digging into all that because it is done and there's channels for that, and you need to go to those channels and get that content from those people. Those people who know what they're talking about, they're good at what they do. Go there with that. Me, you know, I just don't want to be in. It's just a sticky subject. I don't want to be a part of it. But there's guys out there that you can watch that can sit down and break down every single number and how to do it, and when the temperature leans this way and then your fuel mileage goes that. There's cats out there that can do that, and they can tell you tit for tat how your company's screwing you. That ain't me. That is not me. It is what it is. You find those guys, that would be great. But here, we're going to touch on the actual, tangible surface stuff that we can get into. And plus, I got some other stuff involved that's going to happen as well. I thank you for coming. This is Truck Around. Remember, all of my lives are on Instagram. I don't do live on here no more. Quick situation, though. I don't know who did it, but someone paid to have bots go to my Instagram. So if you can't get in, I got like 1,000 fake followers in my request to follow. So now it's hard for me to determine who's going to get in. It's some of the stuff that people do. I'm not going to hold it against them. It is what it is. So if you can't get in, it is better to if you've tried to follow me on Instagram and I didn't follow you, you need to inbox me and say, hey man, I'm trying to follow you on Instagram and see the lives, but I'm probably lost in the sauce, and I don't know, do something for me to know that you're real, and then I'll let you in. But it's like, it's 1,000. Matter of fact, let me see if I can show y'all real quick, because I don't like, we're gonna be all, there's no nonsense on here anymore, buddy. No nonsense on here anymore. See that? Look at this. See that number? That's 1,000. That's ridiculous. Those are fake bots. So it's hard for me to get y'all in to know who's who anymore. And if you click one of them, they never have over 20 30 pictures. It's just a whole bunch of nonsense accounts. So it is what it is. But anyway, other than that, listen, man, don't do drugs, be happy. I'm happy that you're at this channel. If you're new to this channel and you watched this whole video and you enjoyed it, I suggest you subscribe. When you subscribe, hit the bell. You also know to follow me on Instagram. This will be first seen on Patreon. I'm happy that y'all are here. Don't do drugs, be great.